Welcome everyone to tonight. We are racing Elite Racing Network. Tonight we're at Bristol for the Do Something Technologies 225. My name is Jonathan Cutlip. With me is Matthew Weeks and Austin Sally. Producing is Dave Huckleberry. Tonight, pretty cool track. 78 degrees. Full field for tonight's race. Matthew, what are you expecting out of tonight?
A lot of chaos because it's short track racing and start of the playoffs, so I expect to see some crazy racing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, first race of the playoffs, always going to be entertaining. Tonight we have rookie Matt Gruenberg leading the points.
Pretty close. Everyone, I think they only have one round, and then it's the championship race, unlike the other series. So you really got to be solid for the next 3 races to really put yourself in the championship 4, championship 5. I always forget with the trucks.
I believe it's a championship 5, so it's going to be action packed. 150 laps tonight. A lot to gain from having a clean race here, so that's something to look out for.
Definitely, and it'd be much better to win the race to get yourself locked into that championship race.
Tonight's race, a short one, 150 laps, 3 sets of tires, no stages, so it's definitely going to be key on how you want to play out the strategy and how you want to manage the tires. Bristol is definitely one of those tracks where it punishes you heavily for wearing your stuff out too early.
Yeah, definitely. Got to take care of those in that right front. Or I think the rear with this truck tonight looks like a lot of guys are slipping and sliding.
I'm hearing reports of the right rear being huge tonight, but let's go through the starting lineup here. First, we have Josh Adams on the pole with a 1461, followed by rookie point leader Matt Gruenberg in second. Seth Rawls starting third, Hayden Norgardens fourth, Dylan Javier, another playoff driver, in fifth. James Miller, P6, Jeff Green, P7, Jaden Racines, P8, Tom Bourne, P9, Chris Wright, Gavin Higgins, and following him is Dustin Dewar.
Caleb Pewcomers 13th, Joe Francis 14th, Kyle Henshaw 15th, Michael Hosack 16th, Austin and Abbott, that's right, I always get his name wrong, 17th. We got Sam Boutwell 18th, Mitchell Javier rolling off 19th, Andrew Hardcastle 20th, Donald Kite 21st, Brent Jones 22nd, Jordan McAvee 23rd, and Richie Hearn rolling off 24th.
Starting 25th, Ty McIntosh, Dave Carpenter's rolling off 26th, Jared Campbell, P27, Zach Evans, 28, Frank Fody, starting 29th, Matt Hackerthorne, sorry about that, starting P30th, Randy McVoy, P31, Connor Thompson, 32nd, starting at the back of the field, Tate Lytle and Randy Yoakum.
We have a few playoff drivers starting in the back here. That's going to be interesting to watch to see how they navigate through the field to hopefully get some decent points for tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, this would be the last track I would want to start in the back at.
Yeah,
for sure. It's very racy, but everything happens fast, and you're caught in a wreck before you know it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be interesting to see how these guys manage that right rear. This track is just did a couple test laps here, and it's rough.
I haven't driven the truck here in I don't know how long, so I totally forgot how he drove here.
Another thing to keep an eye out for is how do you want to play strategy? Do you think you just want to try to stay up front the entire race and maybe just not even bother coming down pit road, or do you just want to take tires and see if you can work your way back up to the front?
Yeah, to me it always comes down to how many laps you get on those tires before caution comes out. If you get a good 20 lap run, I probably would take tires if the rear is burning that much. If it's just caution after caution, I'll probably stay out until I need fuel. Or until I can make it on fuel.
Who's your picked one? Coming to
Josh Adams runs good here, and doesn't matter what car, but he seems to always run well in Bristol.
He is definitely one to watch tonight. As we take the green, we're coming out of turn 2. The leaders are side by side.
And speaking of Adams, he's already put the pressure on Grunberg right there.
He is, but Grunberg leads the first lap. That's definitely helpful for the playoffs if it comes down to it to have that extra point.
Oh, Jeff Green got bumped in the rear.
Oh,
Jeff Green.
God.
Big wreck.
Oh, they're piling in. See a couple of playoff drivers involved. Hopefully nothing too significant.
I thought that was in another truck, that pace car. I thought Jeff was about to get wiped out again. Oh.
Yeah,
Jeff
you can just
got
see him
loose.
getting loose. It's just,
Yep.
it's so hard to catch it, especially early in the laps at Bristol. It's just everyone's right on top of each other, and as soon as you bobble, it's just 3 or 4 guys that are just right on you.
Yeah, you just riding that close on the start of the race, you just don't have enough time to react to the guy getting loose right in front of you.
Especially with the tires being cold and the temps being low. Like, a lot of people don't think about that. It's just, you just go into the corner and start sliding and you just can't catch it.
Definitely. I'm gonna have
Here
to
we
step away and do some race control things here.
like contact between the 60 and 46 that unfortunately brings more people into the crash. Oh, and some more contact. This involved quite a few playoff drivers.
That's gonna put a dent in the good old playoff standings if they can't get back on track there.
It'll shake things up for sure. It's not something that you want to have happen here early in the playoffs, especially if you're just hoping to survive. It's just, if you're down in points, it's just something you don't want to factor into.
Good thing with these trucks though, they're pretty tough though, right?
They're pretty tough, and we're at a short track to where you can manage a little bit of damage. It's just, you don't want to abuse it to the point. It's just tough to overcome. Just want to have it cleanest truck as you possibly can at the end of it and just manage it.
Absolutely, that's any race, but definitely helps having a tough car, tough truck.
Yes. Here we have Matt Grunberg pitting. I'm curious to see which lane he picks because both lanes have different levels of grip right off the start. The top gets a little bit of a better launch, but the bottom is just the shorter radius, and it's just, sometimes it's easier to get into turn 1 if you're on the bottom. You don't have to worry about the guy under you sliding up into you, and it's just easier to control the race. Here we see him picking the top, so let's see how this works out for him. Josh is pretty good on the restarts.
Now, if you're in this race, what lane you picking?
I think early on, I would probably pick the bottom just to manage the tires, but I feel like later in the race, if you're on older tires, it's probably best to pick the top. Pace car is off. Grunberg with a great jump.
Great start.
We have Layden racing with James Miller for third.
Shit.
It looks pretty high side dominant for now.
Yeah.
Usually the bottom is pretty sporty for the first few laps, but I'm surprised to see how top dominant it's looking so far. I wonder if that's anything to do with how loose these trucks are. What do you think?
It's definitely loose. I mean, we got a couple trucks already coming out of the turn 4. Just 20's loose coming.
We have a wreck behind us.
Oh, he saved! What a save! He was like 90 degrees. I thought he was done, dude. Oh,
That is an amazing save. That is not easy to do.
I still think he wrecked, but he kept it.
He wrecked, but he didn't hit anything. So
That's right.
shout out to Gavin Higgins on that.
It's like that top is a lot more smooth of a ride. A lot of guys aren't getting too loose on that top line. Bottom's loose though.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the drivers are just clicking off laps. It's a good strategy to have as we have the one on pit road. I'm not sure what's happening as far as his race. I'm not sure if he has damage or if he's serving a penalty. Weeks, do you know?
I didn't see no penalty on him at all.
It says he has a meatball, so he's picked up damage somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Yeah, he probably must have hit the wall pretty hard. Got to the corner too hard, got loose, and probably washed up and knocked the toe link out of it on the right front.
That's easy to do.
The midfield is always crazy here. That's always the scariest part about Bristol.
Yes, a lot of comers and goers. It's always the scary part of the field because you have people trying to get track position and people in front of you trying to save as much as they can, and it's just kind of the caution on the track. The 32 machine is around.
Right.
It's a little bit of a shallow entry. I'm not sure if you had an issue before that. You can see it's just starting to step out on him. It's just so easy to do. It catches you before you even realize it.
Oh.
The bottom
Luckily-
line is just slick.
Hopefully he didn't get a lot of nose damage there. It was a nice little kiss. Looks clean though.
Yeah, it looks clean. I don't think he made enough contact with it. That's right on board with the 32 machine here. Falling behind one of the playoff drivers. Yeah, you can just see him start to get loose from the middle to the exit. Luckily, it never really hit anything too hard, so he should be clean. We have some people pitting here.
Interesting choice.
Well, I wonder if it was close on fuel and these guys just go in, top off, and then they can make it. Because I know, like in the Xfinity car and the Cup car, you can go over 100 laps on fuel. So I was just wondering if it's like really close here.
Or if they just think tires will make that big of a difference, that could be a factor too.
Yeah, definitely. I wish I got on there, ran some laps tonight to see what the truck really handled like and how the tires wore, but I didn't do that tonight. I usually do.
I did, and it's tough. It's slick. I mean, you definitely gotta be mindful of how much throttle, when you're putting throttle in, and when you're down low on that low line, and because it's slick.
Would you think taking tires would be beneficial here? You have a 20 lap advantage.
Maybe for a little bit. Probably. I mean, I don't know. It'll be hard to tell. I know sometimes it is. I know. I'm always thinking of the Cup car, and it wouldn't work. But I think maybe since you're burning the rear a lot, it probably would come into play later on in the run if we do get a run.
That's something to keep an eye on for later in the race.
I wish I didn't have my thing up to let me know if those guys took tires or not. Looked like they were down there pretty quick. wonder if Henshaw has a lot of damage. I think he got caught in that first caution, so he just is taking advantage, trying to fix as much as he can.
Something tough about Bristol is you don't get a lot of time to fix damage. You're on and off pit road pretty fast here, so if you get a lot of damage, it takes a while to fix.
Yeah, especially light. I think when we ran our the 500 here in the Cup, I had like 3 minutes of damage, something like that, and it took me pretty much all race long to get it fixed.
It's hard to, especially if you get a stall that's further back. It's something to keep an eye on. Matt Gruenberg's picked the top again for this restart. He must have liked how well he fired off. He had a huge jump last restart. Let's see if he can follow that up.
I'm thinking the same thing. I want to stay as far away from that bottom line as possible.
Another great jump.
Yeah, the leader has such an advantage. And you're right, Austin. Like, if it's really loose down there, run the outside. But I know in the races I've done and other series with other cars, it's like bottom was always the best way to save your tires a little bit. But it's like, it seems like the truck now is just burning that rear, and it might be better just to run the outside all race long.
Points tonight are going to be huge. There's a lot of playoff drivers in the top 5 to 6 right now.
Yeah, I think you want to start the playoff strong here.
Definitely.
That's some lap traffic ahead of rookie sensation.
It's going to be something to keep an eye on. Gruenberg looks fast tonight so far, even though it's just early in the race, but he's trying to lock himself into that championship 5 to just cap it off with a win and not worry about the next 2 races.
Definitely, and I think he's been like one of the best guys on the trucks this year. I mean, he come out of nowhere with this new team. I think he won Daytona earlier in the season. It's like that entire team come into this series. Oh, it was Ty that won Daytona. It wasn't Gruenberg. I thought it was. Oh, it was Miller's teammate that won the race. But that team come out quick, and they've been quick at like every single week.
Something to keep an eye on between the top 2 is Josh is starting to run him down, but their lines are a little bit different. Josh is running up about 3 feet higher than Gruenberg, which does affect your speed through the corner and affects your tire wear, so I'm not sure if Josh is just trying to manage tires and just go for the lead now and just hopefully get a caution, or if he's just riding.
As much as I've raced Josh here, he's always been one just to chill, save his tires a little bit, and then attack here. But knowing how things have been lately on these short tracks, I could see him trying to get that lead and try to keep it. Cautions coming out possibly, especially with how the midfield is racing. It is crazy back there. Excuse me, 10th on back.
I think they're definitely getting crazy. They've sent belt call.
And I know one guy that surprised me. A Leighton Norgard, like this season has just been different. Like he has been so much faster than previous seasons. He's going to be a contender, I think, for the championship. I think he would be one of the 5 to make it there.
Confidence is key, and if you have confidence at the right time, you never know what he can pull off. He's running 3rd here at a tough track, who's struggling for grip, and he's keeping touch with the leaders, who's setting a pretty solid pace. You have Josh Adams, one of the best, in front of you, and we have a crash somewhere.
Is that Richie Hurd? Yeah. Oh, it's 4 that actually make the champ race this time. I remember it used to be 5.
73
Yeah,
just clips the apron a little bit there.
You could see him start to get loose. It just looks like the bottom is super slick right now.
It's tough, I'm telling you. When I did those test laps, it's definitely something to battle down there.
We're going to step away for a quick break. We will be right back.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back just in time for the restart. Dave's picked the top again. Or, Matt, my apologies.
Dave's out there truck leading. He's gonna get him a dub tonight.
That's
I
wishful
can see
thinking,
it.
man. That'd be like 20 years from now.
Grunberg with another fast restart on the top.
He's got the restarts down.
Something that's also worth noting is Layden's been getting good restarts. To be able to keep third off the restarts when you're a little bit boxed in, just to be able to hang off and just keep fourth away, that's something worth noting.
Yeah, definitely. And we have Jeff Green working his way back up there too. I know he's a playoff guy. I'm trying to keep up with these playoff guys. I had trouble earlier.
We have a good battle for ninth, Chris Wright and Michael Hossack. They've been going back and forth for the last few laps. Looks like Chris has finally cleared him. It's another playoff point that he can grab.
Oh yeah, and Chris is out here, man. He'll be a threat probably to win this race too. I think him and Adams being friends, and they work this track really well together.
Chris is quietly quick here at Bristol. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but he is definitely something to keep an eye on before the end of this race closes out. He sets his sights on Seth Rawls in front of him.
Another guy too, Seth Rawls, who had a quiet little season, had some good solid finish, and is running well tonight.
Definitely something worth celebrating, just to be able to stay clean. But Chris is rolling that bottom. That's pretty surprising because you see a lot of people go down there and just start sliding, but he's maintaining drive off the exit, and that's hard to do with how top dominant this track starts to get at times. And he's just rolling the bottom. He's just staying smooth and consistent. Not sure if he's going to be able to get clear of Seth with the 75 ahead of him. Looks like he's going to slide in behind him, but I think maybe in a few laps he'll go back down there and make something happen. I just don't think now is the time yet.
Yeah, we almost had an accident there. I think Zach got loose in the corner and it was close. But Gerald got loose going underneath him. Man, like I say, the midfield is just crazy at Bristol. No matter what series you're racing in.
Definitely. Somebody checks up in front of you and you have somebody behind you, you can't really do much. A great battle brewing around Gerald with Zach Evans and Gerald Campbell.
Yeah, Zach's one of those guys that could use a good run. The last couple of weeks in the Truck Series just hasn't been really good for him. He's been caught in a lot of other people's messes. He just needs a good, solid finish tonight to help him in this playoff run that he's in.
Still has a little bit of rear damage from the early incident. I'm not sure how much that's hampering him here. The rear of the truck is always so sensitive, especially here at Bristol where you're already loose. That's probably a handful for me. I'm expecting to be able to put together a good run, but I'm not sure how unstable that truck is because he looks to be fighting that an awful lot here as he taps the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice more people run the bottom now too. Oh, who's sideways on the apron? Oh!
Looks like we're going to stay green. That's Connor Thompson.
Oh!
It's another playoff driver that's having issues.
Good save though, way to keep it going.
That could have been a lot worse. Sometimes that's all it takes. If you're in a bad spot, don't make it worse. He ended up in a bad spot, and that could have been a whole lot worse. He saved his truck, and he's able to rebound with something instead of just DNF'd.
Definitely. Now you just gotta cool that tire off a little bit, and then get back to it. I'm wondering if Jeff Green took tires under one of them cautions while he was fixing damage, because he seems to be running the bottom pretty well too, and he's been moving up to the field from the back. That's someone I'm keeping an eye on too. He's good. He's good everywhere. Everyone knows who he is, and he's like Zach with a lot of bad luck lately, no matter what he's racing in. And he's one that really definitely would love a good run.
Back up to the lead, there's a surprising gap developing. Matt Gruenberg's put 2 seconds on Josh Adams. I have to think that he's not bothering with saving anymore. You'd have to assume if we get another caution, he'd probably come down to take tires, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys probably would if we get the next caution. If we do get one, I think a lot of them would pit. And maybe Adams is backing off. Maybe, he's like, oh, we're close on fuel. Maybe I back off, save a little bit here. Maybe make it to the end. Maybe save these tires, let Matt burn that tire off and catch him later in this run if it goes green.
Yeah, there's several factors here that I'm curious to see how they play out because Matt is not saving at all. Josh is one of those guys that if he wants to be there, he's there. But he has fallen off to 2.5 seconds as we have a battle between Alayden Norgard and...
It looks like that bottom is coming in. I'm starting to notice a couple more guys go down there and actually make passes.
Definitely looking a lot better though on that bottom lane, for sure, I agree.
And then you got Chris Wright putting pressure on Seth Rolls. He's caught them. I know he's been passing a few trucks. Looks like that bottom is the way to go right now.
You have to think with the track rubbering in, if the bottom was a little either too green or the top is starting to get too rubbered in, is a little bit of close racing there.
Yeah, the exit's always dicey at Bristol when you're side by side, even too wide, because you want to rely on that guy to go to that wall, because you really need that exit to really help you.
Yes. Oh, Tom Bourne just had a moment. He got loose out of turn 2.
Bottom's definitely... Sorry, John.
That's just another case of just wrapping the bottom. It's just a little too slick if you roll it too fast. And a lot of people are starting to figure it out. It's just treacherous just to roll down there at times, but it seems to be where the speed is moving down to.
Definitely sticking a lot better. I was just gonna say, definitely the bottom's looking like it's sticking a lot better now that we've gone 67 laps around. And I agree. I think the speed's coming down the track a little bit.
Okay, as my dog is downstairs going crazy at people outside for some reason. Sorry about that. Oh, big wreck. I think that's Mathieu into the inside wall. Still green. Not Mathieu. Maybe. I know there's 2 Javiers. They're brothers, I think.
Oh. It's a little bit of a moment.
Oh, there is a caution now. Oh.
Oh no, Chris Wright's involved. The 20 of Gavin Higgins. What happens here? Chris Wright and James Miller, both playoff drivers. Yeah. It's just one of those things with Bristol. It's you think the guy on the outside is going to be a little higher up, and you got to run the middle, maybe a little bit of a diamond line, and just the tiny bit of contact, and you guys just can't get away from each other, and it just hooks you into the wall. That's just unfortunate. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. It's just unfortunate, like you were saying. It just looks like Chris was trying to enter a little bit higher, to get that diamond, like you're saying, and James was wanting to enter all the way at the wall. And as soon as their car just touched, their trucks touched a little bit, you get stuck together. And I hate that on the sim, where it just gets stuck and there's nothing you can do about it. And then we have Gavin with a self spin as well.
Yeah, just trying to avoid the crash and just hard to get stopped. It's unfortunate. Hopefully it doesn't do too much damage to either of their cars as far as their playoffs are concerned, but we have the leaders pitting here. We have, it looks like most of the top 10 coming down the road.
And Chris has a meatball, so that's really going to hurt his playoff points tonight. He's going to take a hit tonight, so he's going to definitely very strong runs in the next couple of weeks.
That's basically going to put him into a must-win, you'd have to think.
Yeah, I would think so.
Not much of a battle for the lead coming off the road, but we did have Elaine Norgard and Josh Adams side by side.
Brent stayed out though? Is that what it looks like, huh? Coming in now.
Looks like Matt's going to return it late here off of pit stops, which is pretty surprising. I'm surprised nobody really stayed out to try and maybe get some track position and hope for things to pull their way. Maybe like one of the guys that were involved in one of the first wrecks in the playoffs. Just, see how things turn out. What do you think, Austin?
I'm still curious to see. I like our rookie sensation just on his restart. I'm curious to see his restart being behind a lane or a road. Like a second.
I believe these are wave around, so he should still be on the first spot.
Okay.
Looks like he's still dedicated to the stop.
Top lane, man.
This race has turned out pretty well. As a playoff driver going to Bristol, you never really know what you're going to get, and to only have 4 cautions and 75 laps is really good. It's something you can really maximize to your advantage if you need to.
I'm wondering how that bottom lane's gonna, if Adams is gonna have a good restart here, since that bottom line's kind of getting a little faster now.
Yeah, Adams is something to keep an eye on in this restart. Gets a little bit of a better jump, but Matt is still gone. Seth Rawls with a good jump as well. He's up to 3rd. Do we have an incident on the restart?
That bottom line definitely is got some speed on it now.
If Veer wanted me to look at what happened with him, we called out when he got damaged, and it was just like they were 3 wide on the exit, and then him and Dewar like touched, and that's what made him go into the inside wall and get damaged.
Mm. Matt's pretty much checking out. He's running fast laps. The battle for second is heating up. We have Josh Adams, Seth Rawls, James Miller, who was involved in the previous incident, unfortunately, and Layden Norgard, who's been up there the entire night.
I would say, as a rookie myself coming in next year, it's really cool to see some of these rookies leading, or not leading, but in the top 10 here at Bristol, with how challenging it is, how Bristol's its own beast. I mean, really cool to see.
Bristol's a hard track to get around. There's nowhere to hide. It's fast paced. You have to mentally stay with it the entire time. It's one of the harder tracks to drive just because of how focused that you have to be as far as like racing and just running fast laps and managing your tires. It's a fun track, but it's definitely rewarding for when you get the most out of it. We have a crash in midfield.
Oh, and another wreck after the.
Oh man.
So involving Zach Evans again. That's not what you want to see as far as the playoffs. So it starts this. 25 pushes up into the marbles, just a touch. Let's see if it snaps loose on him.
Yep. Oh, yep.
Comes around.
Oh, 2 playoff guys right there.
That's not what you want to see when you're running that high up in the field.
And then I think Gavin going into this next corner turned somebody as well too.
See what happens. Oh. Some people just not really being able to see what happens and just gets into the back of somebody. Never what you want to see happen, it just happens sometimes, unfortunately. Especially when you're involved and you're trying to go for as much points as you can. It's hard to balance. But that is a huge event for those who are involved in the crash running that far up.
Yeah, that's a big hit to the playoffs. I mean, especially with it being a short playoff for the truck guys.
Especially you work all season to get to this point, and
exactly.
You come to one of the toughest tracks, and you start to have a little bit of a bad race, and it puts you pretty far back pretty fast.
Looks like we had a little rage going on underneath that caution too between the 59 and what is this? And Kite, yeah, banging doors and wrecking. That's something we don't like to see around here in Elite.
Yeah, short track tempers. It happens fast. Oh, yeah. That's just hard with the. Nothing you can really do at that situation.
Wow.
Definitely showing their displeasure.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you this, John, you probably know because we're pretty good buddies outside of Elite. It is definitely hard to temper check yourself sometimes in these races.
Yeah, it is for sure. Sometimes people do something you don't like, and it's hard to not express that at times, but sometimes you just kind of have to rein it in and just make sure nobody else gets involved. It's really hard to find that balance to it. Coming back to the green, Matt's picked the top again. He seems to be pretty comfortable up there. I don't think he's going back to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it's good if I'm doing that good on restarts. I'm sticking to the same bread and butter every restart.
His car's off.
Again, Matt is just gone.
Josh has done really well at this restart. He is starting to put pressure on him. We haven't seen this all night.
There we go. There's a battle
Side
for
by
the
side
lead.
for the lead. Matt with the run off the corner. They're coming up on lap traffic pretty good. This could affect things.
If I'm the 01, I'm on that bumper until we get past that lap traffic a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. You can either use him as a pick or just hopefully you don't get caught on him. But it looks like Josh files in behind Matt for now. That's something to keep in the mind for later in the race because Josh didn't get the best restart, but he was able to fire it back up and get right on his bumper going into the corner. So he caught back up to him pretty quick. You can see him still wrapping the bottom. That's shortest way around, and he's still getting clean air.
Yeah.
We have a caution again somewhere on the track. Looks like the 20 of Gavin Higgins is slow. That's what happens. This another case of just the bottom being slick. Oh. Yeah, that's another hard thing you're gonna have with Bristol is the top just having so much more momentum, and it's just trying to clear up to get as much as you can, and the guy behind you just has more momentum and just like tags you and just sends you around.
Yeah.
Definitely some.
That's tough. I mean, they looks like Gavin's just trying to come up and clear him, and looks like he kind of hesitated maybe, and that like you said, that momentum coming out the corner on that top line is just got him
Yeah,
there.
it's a game of inches, right? Like he clears up, he gets a spot and he keeps going, but it looks like just a tiny bit of hesitation tags him in the right rear, and unfortunately your front gets destroyed, and it's definitely not something you want to see with 60 laps to go in the first round of the playoffs. It's one of those situations where you just have to take everything you can get, and especially with multiple people having solid races, the entire top 5 are playoff drivers, so if you're not one of them, it's something you just want to minimize your bad days, and unfortunately that makes it worse.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that last one, I might just call that one a racing deal. You just slide up and someone just taps you there, and it happens.
Yeah, it's Bristol.
And then I had to go back because I'm sorry, I was off the mic for a little bit. We had that incident under caution, and the 59 was parked for the race because where we had the same kind of issue happen in Martinsville, we got to keep it the same. So the guy was parked for the rest of the race for that incident under yellow.
Yeah, it's definitely something you don't want to see. You get it, but you don't want to see it, especially with a lot on the line here with multiple other people. It's just sometimes you just have to accept it and move on. But
definitely, and the top 4 playoff guys are like, please don't let us get caught in everyone else's messes, because it's like everyone else is just struggling that's in the playoffs. Besides Joe Francis, he's been kind of quietly working his way up there, dodging the wrecks, being smart about what he's doing.
yeah, unfortunately, we've had a few playoff drivers have issues tonight. But you have to think, if you're riding around like 4th where Layton's here, the win's right in front of you. How hard do you push to try to get the win and lock yourself into the Champ 4?
It's tough. There's still a lot of race left. I mean, you could like, there's 2 choices. You could push it, try to stay up top, or stay in the top 5, top 4, but that's just a risk. I mean, especially if we're going on a long run, coming up with a lot lap traffic as we come to green right here.
Another good jump, man. He has those restarts down.
Something that we forgot to mention is it looks like the Josh Adams machine took tires somewhere in that stop.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I didn't see him up there anymore, so he must have took tires and went to the back.
we see some contact in the midfield here. We have James Miller and Dustin Dewar making contact. This is a tight battle for 6th. Something that's always a dangerous strategy to play is the one that Josh Adams did. He really doesn't have anything to lose, but I mean, you just want to get that win, right? And to be able to make it through the midfield with how hard they're battling, it's got to be stressful, right?
Yeah, and I think he just got sideways on the apron right there.
He's definitely not where he wants to be running. He's back to 25th. The battle heats up for this top 5. It's starting to get down to it. You're trying to take everything you can get. 50 laps left. Time's running out. It's now or never.
Sorry, John. If I'm in this race, I'm still holding back a couple more laps. 10 more laps. I'm holding back.
It's hard to do. Laps, if it goes green, laps go by quick here, so you can't wait around too long. Kyle Henshaw caught her little touch right there. Woo! That was close. Close battle here, man.
Battles all throughout the field. It's hard to pick and choose. It's good throughout the field here. It's close, but it's good racing.
Yeah. And they got close again there. And Dusty, man, after earlier, he blinked. As soon as I brought him up, I'm not talking about it no more.
He's back. He's doing a really good job of roughing the bottom. He's cleared him.
Yeah, he's running after the little incident earlier with I think he self-spun earlier, got a little loose, and he's just been working his way up too. Looking pretty quick here.
He's up to P6. He's definitely starting to leave this battle behind him as Gerald's trying to follow in his footsteps and wrapping the bottom. They're stuck side by side racing behind him.
I wonder if Dave can pull up that thing that shows us if he can show us if people took tires or not. Because I wonder if some of these guys that there's as I'm speaking of caution. Okay. So I'm wondering if some of these guys, when some of these cautions earlier, pitted to fix damage and took tires in, unlike other guys that's been staying out all race.
That's something to keep in mind as we have the 46 slow. Let's see what happens.
No.
I just maybe overdrove the entry just a touch, because that's probably about the furthest step we've ever seen somebody self-spin like that. Usually it's been around the bottom.
Yeah, he just keyed up and said it just got away from him there a little bit. So I think it just got a little too loose and he just couldn't catch it in time.
Something
and
else
to me, I'd rather just self-spin myself anyway if I can't catch it than try to catch it, overcorrect, and go head onto the wall, if it's already too far gone.
Yeah, it's just about minimizing the damage. And it's also worth noting that he still has some rear end damage from one of the earlier wrecks. You have to think that's affecting him at some point.
Yeah, and as we see, quite a few guys are pitting.
That's going to shake things up. You have Seth Rawls, who is up towards the front for a majority of this race. He thinks 40 laps left, it's worth taking tires. He's going to lose a bit of track position. That's one of our playoff guys. It's definitely a risky move with how many people stayed out. And you have himself and James Miller following behind him. Tom Bourne. So quite a few playoff guys.
Oh. As we got a park kite too as well. All right. Seems Chad, the boss man, is cute. Yeah, Chad, you want to come race control, man? It's a good time, dude. Have fun.
Nah, Chad only races.
I know. He's a racer, man. You can't. I know people are like that, man. When you're a racer, and all you want to do is just race.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
He's an armchair race control, though.
We just do as we're told, huh? John, how many playoff guys we got out now?
We have quite a few. I'm not sure on the exact number, but I know it's been a treacherous race for our playoff contenders here. That's
You got Chris, Gavin. Let's see who else here. There's a bunch of guys.
Those are the only two that are out, I think.
definitely not a situation you want to be in. Just end up in a must-win almost with how well some of the other playoff drivers are competing for the top 5 spots. We have Grunberg and Norgard here on the front row as we get ready to go back to green.
And what it would mean for Norgard to come out here and win this truck race. I think he won last season's ARCA championship. You come back and you next season trucks, lock yourself into the championship race and go contend for it, man. Talk about a momentum boost right there. Oh
yeah, for sure. It's something that he's had marked on his calendar. He's always been up there. He's just something's always come up. He gets a good restart here. Matt doesn't get as big of a jump as he has been before, but it's still an advantage.
Yeah, it looked like Norgard tried to time it and tap the gas a little early, and he had to back off a little bit because he didn't want to get the black flag for the jump restart.
Yeah, we have some new faces up in the top here. Hackathorn, he's been there all night. He just hasn't been up to P2 yet. He is on the tailgate of the 17 machine, who's been dominant tonight. Layton's really struggling on this restart. He is dropping pretty fast. He's back to 5th here. Dustin Stewart rolling around the top. He's something to keep an eye on.
That bottom line is tough, John.
Yeah, it looks like with the truck, you really got to work that bottom, and then once you figure it out, it seems to work really well. Close. Adam. I think that was Adam. He said, "I'm taking this middle. Whether you're going to run or not, I'm going to move you out of the way. This is my line."
He's moving up pretty quick. That's something to keep an eye on because he has fresher tires than the next 7 drivers ahead of him, I believe.
Oh yeah.
As we have a spin in the back. Caution is out for the 8th time tonight. James Miller, a playoff driver. That's a lot of playoff drivers struggling tonight.
Yeah, and that's not good because that's going to hurt you. And like you said earlier, it's going to put you in a must-win situation. It just stepped away from him.
Yeah, just
coming out of the corner.
So fast.
So close.
It's a great job to everyone behind him and next to him to avoid that because you just see a glimpse of it and you're trying to give him as much room as you can before things start to get worse. And they all did a good job of avoiding each other even though they're spinning.
You got milliseconds to react on that too. It's happening right in front of you.
And you can see it step out and not much you can do at that point.
Yeah, nope, you're just along for the ride right there. But way to keep it off of everybody and good eyes on everyone not to hit them and everyone walks away damage free.
I think it would be a good time to step away and get a sponsor break for our
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge of your seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we're back with the Do Something Technologies 225. Still under caution. Coming back to the green here in just a moment. We have points leader Matt Grunberg still leading, followed by Matt Hackathorn. Joe Campbell, Dustin Dewar, Layden Norgard.
Campbell's hungry. He missed the playoffs, I think, just because of the incident he had in Martinsville, and he barely missed the playoff, I think, by a few points, couple points. He was close to it, and the last couple of races wasn't it before this race started tonight. So he's hungry to get up there and win this race and be spoiler in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Sorry, John, go ahead.
it's tough because you can have fast drivers that are not in the playoffs, but they're still racing for somebody or something. You know, it's still have race wins out there. It's something you have to keep in mind when you're a playoff driver. It's worth racing somebody a little extra harder trying to gain a spot or a win, but you also have to realize the guys that aren't in the playoffs are still racing for something.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, everyone still shows out. No playoff guys. They're still here to win races and still get some points and finish decent at points. You want to still finish as high as you possibly can.
Pace car is about to pull off. We're coming to green. Matt Hackathorn with a great jump. That's probably the best one we've seen all night.
Yeah, he stayed right with them going into one there.
Just got to manage that bottom, though.
Yeah. Matt rolls to the top and clears him with the momentum. The battle is developing for third here. We have Matt Hackathorn and Gerald Campbell, Michael Hosick.
And Adam's there too with the pressure tires. He's kind of pinned in right now. It's kind of hard to make moves, especially when you get up here towards closer to the front and they're side by side battle, and you're just kind of stuck there waiting for a gap to open up so you can pounce on it.
Yeah, he has pressure tires by about 20 laps, but you have to think he's starting to run out of time with how boxed in he is. It's like contact between the three drivers that come out unscathed.
That was close. Three. Oh, that's always scary too when they peak three on the exit of the corners here. You're just so worried.
Somebody who was going backwards at the wrong time is Layden Norgard. He was up front battling for the lead just a moment ago, but now he's dropping back. And he's dropping back in a hurry.
Yeah, bad spot on the restart, starting down there, and then the fresh tires. Big wreck.
More playoff drivers.
And then the tires are starting to come into play. Poor Zach, man. He has like some of the worst luck racing.
Yeah, it's definitely not a night you want to have it on round one of the playoffs. You want to fire off well with the good race, and unfortunately for a lot of people, it's not shaping up to be a good race. And here we have Zach with another incident. They just get turned in front of him. Not a whole lot you can do. You can't really stop in a hurry and end up spinning trying to stop, and people behind you just really can't see the crash. Contact between the 30 and 75 is
Yep, it looks like 30 just tapped that right rear, and everyone know just a little tap on that right rear like that just instantly spins you out.
You have to think with Matt Miller being there, you have to wonder if he got some damage from that too. Or James Miller, my apologies. He's back on pit road.
Yeah, that would hurt him too, especially when he had that spin and he didn't hit nothing, and then to get damage from that. And it's just, these playoff guys are not having any luck.
No, it's starting to turn into just keep track position at all costs, and you should be a good benefiter from it, but he has a lot of front end damage that's, you wouldn't think it, but Bristol is pretty aero dependent. And Austin can attest to that with how hard it was to drive with a clean truck and much less with damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine doing this with damage. With a clean truck, it was tough, so.
You have to think, Matt has pretty good control of the race. He's led just about every lap here, I believe, and a lot of his playoff rivals are just having issues following in his footsteps. If Austin, if you're Josh, what would your mentality be here? You're restarting 6th, 20 to go. You have drivers who aren't in the playoffs ahead of you, but you have one rider on your heels, and Tom Bourne and Leighton Norgard. And you know, if you can put as many cars between you, that's just more of a buffer towards the final 4. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna play more conservative. I think it's more. Yeah, it'd be great to have a buffer with, you know, if I was able to pass Campbell, and, you know, have a couple guys between me and Bourne, but it's just it's tough. I mean, I would be torn. I'd be contemplating. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do really.
And we're coming with 15 to go. It's about to start getting dicey. These boys will start driving in these corners a lot harder, and I feel like it's gonna get a little bit more sketch out there.
Starting to get to crunch time. Hopefully it's not too big of a crunch as we have the pace car pulling off for one of our final restarts. Matt going with a great jump.
Only he could have stayed even with them.
It's just another case of the bottom being so slick as we have a side-by-side battle for second. Michael Hosek making a way up to the front. That's something to keep an eye on. He's been quietly quick all night. He's been pretty smart about his moves. He's just been making his way up, but he has somebody who's been really fast and has fresher tires, and Josh Adams coming up behind him.
Josh looks like he's making a lot of progress for it.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Big crash. Oh, that is going to be a big crash.
That is big. Oh!
A lot of playoff drivers involved.
Josh. As I was just talking about Josh making progress forward, there he goes.
Yeah, it was something we just talked about before they went green, is how aggressive did you want to be to try to put a big of a gap behind you, and Josh was risking a lot, and unfortunately it's not going to pay off here.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like he could have been a little bit more patient. He would have been able to, I think, clear the 48 out of this next set of corners, and then set up the 24. You know.
Yeah, that's a huge impact. It's just one of those things where it's just, if it works out, you're looking good with about 15 to go, and you have fresher tires than the leader, and it's just you and him. But unfortunately, that's not gonna be answered tonight.
It goes back to that question earlier about if I was Josh. I mean, knowing that you're so much faster than, or not so much faster, but you're faster than the guys that you're racing around. And he did right there had a little bit of a buffer between him and the next playoff driver. I don't know if I would have probably backed off a little bit right there, just because I'm not gonna push that hard, knowing that I got a little bit of a buffer for, you know, that lap at least.
Josh is a really smart driver, so he's probably doing the same thing I would in that situation. It's just we have a stack up towards the back, just people not seeing the crash. It's a late pile-in. Somebody upside down. I didn't even see that the first.
The 30
first
car?
go around.
Yeah, the 30 upside down.
It's another playoff driver with massive damage. We have it's just tires lock up and you're along for the ride at that point. Somebody to keep an eye on here late in the race is Dustin Dewar. I believe he has fresher tires than the leader. I also believe Jeff Green does as well. Dewar is not a playoff driver, but Green is, so it's going to be curious to see how they race each other. I believe they're teammates. It's going to be one of those situations where you still want to go for the race win, but you don't want to put your teammate in a bad spot who's going for the championship 4.
There's a little tumble for you right there, John.
Yeah. Little more incident. Something you don't want to see.
Ride. No, not at all. I always put myself in that seat. You know, I couldn't imagine doing that in real life, man. Going for a tumble, I'd get so sick. That, and then the impact on top of that.
Especially at Bristol and in the playoffs, it's definitely something you don't want to have happen. Especially with how many people have had issues. It's been feast or famine for these playoff drivers tonight. We're getting
Green up there in P4, huh?
Yes, he's up there. It's curious to see how these final few laps play out with these 4 drivers. Matt with another great start. It's been his restarts all night have been getting him to jump out to huge leads. That's a huge factor for him.
And Dusty from a self-spin earlier to P2. Man, what a drive by old Dusty. It'd be cool to see him get a good podium finish.
It's definitely a huge rally back for him.
And then Jeff Green with a good rebound too, if he gets a good solid finish here from the earlier incident. So another playoff guy that rebounded good. And Joe Francis there just literally been riding around the top 10. Oh, a wreck right there.
We have the 46 round again. He's been having a tough night. See what kicks this off.
3 wide and an entry.
And just clips the apron. Oh.
They both got loose at the same
time.
Is that a big gust of wind, or?
Yeah, maybe a gust of wind.
Synchronized.
It's like multiple accidents in the same corner for multiple people. That's bizarre. You've seen things happen like that before. Maybe somebody was just leaking some oil on the track, and I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Unfortunately, the one of Jaden Racimus had nowhere to go, and it just ends up in his lap.
I think that's the first that we're going to tally 2 trucks for 2 self spins in the same wreck.
Not half tally each.
That's crazy. I've never seen that. I've only seen that happen when we're messing around, practicing or something, or just, messing around in the practice lobby. But to have it happen in a race like that, that's something else.
Something worth noting is the 30 of Connor Thompson, a playoff driver, got a wave around, so he's back on the lead lap. If he can pick up a few spots here, that's going to be huge for his playoffs.
We're going green, white, checkered on this restart, right?
I believe so. This will end in a green, white, checkered.
How many attempts do we have for the green, white, checkered on this?
We should be having 3 green, white, checkers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always 3.
It's not over until it's over, but you have to think Matt's in a pretty good spot to bring this one home. He's been getting solid restarts all night. Just rolling the top, keeping momentum off of 2. It pretty much puts him into an untouchable spot into 3, which is a risky area if somebody decides to try to do a bump and run. I have to think he has this one pretty much in the bag. I feel like Dewar, if he gets a good restart, he can get to the bottom and wrap it pretty well. He was doing one of the best jobs tonight of just rolling the bottom and keeping speed up. How about you guys? Anyone you're looking for specifically?
I don't see Jeff Green make a push for it up at least gonna gain a couple spots for a podium. Same with the 30. I mean, those three guys, in 4th, 5th, and 6th. I mean, it's cool to see some more pressure on Gutenberg.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to beat the leader on the restarts here late in the race at Bristol too, and Jeff needs a good solid finish. So it'll be cool to see Jeff pull one out here.
It would. Joe and Seth putting quiet nights out there. It's been interesting for most playoff drivers, and they're being smart and just keeping to themselves, minding their P's and Q's, and just they're in the top 10 solidly. Just got to bring it home now.
Yes, Grunberg gets a good launch again.
Dewar spins the tires a little bit. That was a little bit of a tight moment with him and Jeff Green. Dewar taps the wall just a little bit. This is the highest I've seen Dewar run. He is gaining a lot of momentum, and he's there. We're on the white flag. He's there. They use the bumpers.
Oh!
Leaders around. Dustin Dewar spins to the line.
No, he did!
It's a photo
Oh
finish.
my god!
Oh man!
Who won that?
Hackathorn!
Wow.
What a finish!
That's unbelievable. Dewar goes for a bump and run. Hits the 17 a little too hard, maybe. That's just a light spot in the corner. It just sends him around.
How about
And
that
then he gets
save
hit
though?
the marbles.
Oh my god!
And unfortunately crashes into a lap car. I'm not sure if that had any effect on.
He
if
might have
would've
won.
That's.
Oh no!
That's
dude.
unbelievable.
And Seth rolls with a P3. Oh man.
That's a
Dude.
very good run for Seth tonight.
Carpenter's just trying to hurt and just get off the track because he sees him coming. If he wasn't there, Dewar probably would have won. It just slowed him down and
Yeah,
God.
it was a photo finish for sure. It's too close to call if he would have had it or not.
What an ending, man. Holy cow.
We have Matt Hackathorn, the official winner, by a 10th over Dustin Dewar. Seth Rawls coming in P3. Jeff Green with a P4. Matt Gruenberg with the save at the end of the race finishes it off P5. That's still a good run for him.
Joe Francis 6. We got Jordan McAvoy 7. Hostick comes back after getting wrecked late to rebound with a good 8th place finish. And then Nabnick 9th, and Tom Bourne, your 10th place driver. Norgard, I think he fell off. I think he burned his tires off, so with the 11th place finish. Frank Fody with a good solid finish, 12th. Jared Campbell 13th. Richie Hearn 14th. James Miller 15th. Brent Jones 16th. Kyle Henshaw 17th, and Sam Bowell 18th. And a lot of playoff guys took a big beating tonight in the standings.
Yeah, that's rough for those playoff guys.
As we look at
Specifically,
the rest of the field here. Go ahead, John.
Gavin Higgins and Chris Wright. Not the nights that they were looking for tonight. They're having a tough couple of weeks ahead of them. You have to think that they're in must-wins now.
Yeah, I think a bad race tonight really puts you behind the bubble, and you got to go out and win a race, or you need to finish top 2, top 3 in the next couple of weeks to hopefully get enough points to make it there. So we wait on our podium guys to get in the Discord so we can get these interviews. Man, what an ending though. That was
That was a pretty clean race throughout the night. That was a close finish. I didn't think we were going to get a photo finish like that, specifically like that, but that was enjoyable to call.
Did you guys see that?
As we're joined by the 3rd place finisher, Seth Rawls.
his first thing and is asking, did you see that? Go ahead, John.
You put together a quiet night, but sometimes that's all it takes is a quiet night. A lot of the playoff drivers were struggling, and you were just keeping to yourself, and you finished off as the top playoff driver with the P3. What were your thoughts tonight?
Yeah, it did not feel like a quiet night, John. That was insane. That was a lot just happened right there. I mean, even the big wreck on the front stretch, I barely missed that thing. But yeah, I was telling Connor, I started third, somehow finished third. I'll take it. That was insane. I mean, that was craziness comes to the line, especially. And I think the 32 lost it off of the car on the spot on the track. That was just insane.
That it
What?
was, and you had like I said, you qualified third, and watching the race, man, you rode like between like third and like seventh most of the race. Just like John said, quiet. You just sitting there running where you needed to be. Is that was your plan tonight, coming tonight as a playoff driver?
Yeah, I think these, especially the first round of the playoffs, or the first race of the first round, you gotta set get yourself in a good base before the next two races. So I think I really focused on that. I had one big moment myself out of 4 one time, but other than that, I feel like I was pretty good. I noticed like it was very lane heavy, like wherever lane was going, you're gonna go. But if you were behind someone on older tires or just wasn't running the right marks, you were actually getting stuck, and that's where I got frustrated tonight. But in the end, obviously it worked out. Barely. I have to watch that back, but I mean, yeah, I think a clean night is all I needed right there. Bristol, not a bad track for me in these kind of cars. The next gen I suck. I can't stay the right front, so I was really focused on that. Just trying to roll the corners and fine tune my stuff for this track and car. But yeah, wow, that was crazy.
Go ahead, John. What were you going to ask him?
You had a front row seat to that last corner mayhem. What were your thoughts when you saw that start to develop?
Yeah, I mean, I did not think. No offense to Dewar, obviously, I didn't think he had enough speed for the 17 there to even like hang with them. Especially on those restarts. I mean, the 17, what's his teammate? 52. No, wait, I don't know who this teammate is, but what number he is. But they were working together really good. I mean, props to him. Part of the game. But yeah, he had a run out of 2, and I was like, wait, is he gonna like move him? Like he's a playoff guy, obviously. Dewar is not a playoff guy. I mean, I was talking to him right there in the waiting room, catching up. He said it wasn't his intention to move him. He kind of just checked up in the center a little bit more than he expected. But yeah, coming out of 4, and I was, on the inside of Jeff Green there. Coming out of 4, I was like, all right, just try to get through it. And yeah, it worked out. I mean, I wish I could have been who the heck beat me? Hold on. The 48, that's who it was. I wish I was the 48, but I can't complain.
Well, being the top finishing playoff driver, what's your mentality going into the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, we got Charlotte, and what's that for Charlotte?
I'm not quite sure. Let's see here.
I'm not 100% sure. To be honest with you, I've been focused on Xfinity Cup since I'm in the playoffs
Yeah.
there, so I'm trying to keep up with those tracks.
Yeah, I mean Charlotte. Obviously, and this series is tough. It's Nashville, so yeah, I think just getting through Charlotte, good. Run, don't wreck yourself. That's the biggest thing. Do not get in a wreck. And if you do, you have to overcome it and try to power through it. But yeah, I think these races can get crazy, as you just saw. So just trying to keep my truck under me and mind my own thing. Be aggressive when I have to be. Put my elbows out, but at the end of the day, protect the truck, protect the points, and who knows? Maybe I'll make it to Las Vegas.
Well, we'll just have to find out. You did a great job tonight. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, my friend Log 3D Prints, Logan. If you guys ever need anything 3D printed, if you want to do trophies, little knickknacks, reach out. It's holiday season, so he's on Twitter, Instagram. His shop is an Etsy shop, so go on Etsy. It's Log LOG 3D Prints. That's why I got a little Mario paint scheme. He loves Mario, so really happy with that truck now, or this year how it came out. Shifty Sports. Obviously not the best night for the other 2 in the playoffs, but like I said, plenty of races to go, 2 races to go. We can work our way back up there. So, but all the help from Connor and Ty everyone else back to the team. But yeah, and then you guys, I'm excited to watch this broadcast tonight. That'll be fun. I wonder how you guys saw the finish, but yeah,
It was exciting to call.
It made me
I-
jump out of my chair. That's how crazy
Yeah.
it was.
I couldn't do that, but I thought about it.
Well, good run tonight, man. Way to kick off your playoffs with a strong one, man. A strong run, and good luck to make that championship race, man. I hope you do it.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
That was Seth Rawls, our third place finisher, as we bring up Dustin Dewar.
Dusty, man, what we doing?
Hello, boys. Hello.
Man, I just want to say you're from the earlier wreck on with your little self spin and then the rebound and almost get her done, man. You almost had it there, but still good rebound, man. Good finish tonight.
Thanks. That one's a little heartbreaking. Not happy about that last lap, obviously at all. It was fun. I had speed. It was fun to be up there racing all night, and yeah, that's disappointing.
Man, it's so close, and you're like I said, you're running good. You looked stout after your little incident earlier. You made your way back through the field and almost. I think if Carpenter wasn't there, I think you would have slid across a little bit ahead and got it. But man, it's coming, dude.
I gassed up just a little bit early. I got into him. Thank God he saved it, by the way. That was an awesome save. And I throttled up earlier than I normally would have there to make sure I cleared him. And that's what got me loose coming on exit, unfortunately. I should have just lifted a little bit, obviously, but dang, the heart was pumping there, boys.
I believe it, man. I could tell from just watching. I see it in your eyes on the sim. You know, you were you're into
I couldn't
it.
believe I was running them down like I was. I don't know how old his tires were, but mine were pretty old myself. I hadn't pitted since like lap 70 something of that race, so heck yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Well,
You had our hearts pumping too. You were one of the fastest drivers wrapping the bottom tonight. A lot of people were struggling with that. Did you work on that in practice, or was like what
That's
was your
all I
thought?
worked on in practice, because I mean we all know the run to top here. It's kind of a top feeder track for ages. So I just worked on the bottom for saving tire a little bit, and heck yeah. You just had to be careful because you got on that throttle just a little bit too early. That's what happened with my self spin. Got back on the throttle too early on that bottom, and it just can't do that.
It was paying off because a lot of people were struggling with that all night, and there were very few people that were making it work down there.
Heck of a night for Do Good though. Jeff right behind me in fourth.
Yeah, you guys.
Man. Go ahead, John.
You guys were you were doing awesome at the end there. You're starting to make your way up there, and it was a solid night for the team. It looks like.
Heck yeah, it was a super solid night. Coming off the pole at Talladega on Wednesday night, and just followed up here with a awesome finish. You really can't ask for much more than that. But dang, I wanted that W.
I believe it, man. I know, because we all know here, all of us here that race, it's so hard to win races. I mean, dang, right now I feel like I'm in a struggle bus right now myself too, and it's just like all you want to do is have a really good strong, and you want to win a race. It just feels good to win a race in Elite, and you won last season. You've been close. I feel like a couple of times. I think at Dega or the other play track race, you were right there too, and you almost had her tonight, man. I was pulling for you. I was hoping you was gonna get it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one on a non-plate track. It's coming. Just been battling a lot of computer issues, internet issues. Got a new computer for this season, and things just haven't been going very smoothly with it. And trying to get it dialed in. We're almost there, and it's been showing. The runs have been there. So yeah, a W is definitely coming soon.
Yeah, man. Well, good run tonight, and good run for Jeff Green too. They do good. Y'all ran real good night, and he needed a good run after the last couple of weeks of racing. Man, he just hasn't had the luck, and it's nice to see him get a good finish tonight too as well. Any shout outs you want to give before you head out for the night?
Heck yeah. As you were talking about Jeff Green there, a solid run for him as our only points driver in any playoff season this year in the Elite Racing Series. So I'm glad to see Jeff have a good night. Big shout out to JD's Hilltop Salvage in Goodrich, Wisconsin. If you have any scrap you need picked up, give old JD a call today. Randy at Memory Lanes, have a cold one for me tonight, buddy. Miss Goodies, home of the famous Hooded Towel. Y'all, if you haven't heard about these or seen them, you need to go to Miss Goodies on Facebook today. Check her out. They're the hottest thing on the market. You're going to want one. Go check it out today. And to you guys in the booth, we couldn't do this without you. Thanks for doing what you do. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
You do the same, Dusty. I'll catch you tomorrow night, man.
Yes, sir.
That was Dustin Dewar, our second place finisher, as we're joined by Matt Hackathorn, our race winner tonight.
There
Go
you
ahead,
go.
John. You can go ahead, John. Ask him.
Matt, it was chaotic at the end. You put yourself in great positions all night. You were never really making any mistakes. It's a great thing to do here at Bristol. It's just play it smart. You kept yourself out of the trouble. What was your thought going into tonight?
Going into tonight was hoping for the best. I'm down an arm. I got a torn rotator cuff and a bunch of other torn muscles in my right arm, so it was all I could do to shift, and I just kind of focused on being where everyone else wasn't. That was kind of my mindset going in. 'Cause Clean Air's still pretty dominant at Bristol. Still trying to comprehend how I went from 30th and managed to win this, even with all the drama. So, I mean, it's a good old-fashioned spin and win, but yeah, I didn't really have an idea coming into tonight.
It's definitely tough to drive this track just healthy. I couldn't imagine doing that with an injured arm like that. That's pretty impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, man. My eyes opened big when you said like, how did you race tonight like that?
Pretty much only shifted, and then if I was like too wide with someone, I would kind of just rest my arm up on the wheel to keep that ballast up there. But for the most part, just left-handed and hoping to pray.
Yeah, and I have a question for you too. I know everybody was struggling on the restarts, and besides you, you're the only one that really stayed next to Matt there after every restarts. Are y'all teammates?
We're teammates, but we do not do the countdown because especially when it's one-on-one like that, it should come down to it. But
Yeah.
that kind of idea, he doesn't play restart games like I do, so I kind of figured he'd be going in that first little bit of the box every time.
Yeah, man. Well, you're really on him on the restarts, and I'm gonna ask you too about that last lap. Did you expect that you was gonna win the race from where you were at?
Well, after that wreck, I lost probably 3 or 4 miles an hour down the straight, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're up near the front, it's almost, 10th to 2/10. So I
Yeah.
was just holding on to deer. Yeah, I was pretty much confided that, okay, well, I can get third. And then all of a sudden they hit and they both got sideways. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start cutting down. And then all of a sudden I started reading 32 door numbers. I'm like, oh, he's still going to beat me. And then I got across the line. I'm like, first, how did I get here? I mean, I've just been sitting back watching the replay. And I mean, I didn't get any luck last week to make it into the chase. But I guess the first week of the chase, yeah, I guess all the luck just decided to come out right now at the worst but best opportune time.
Yeah. I mean, no, not knowing. I mean, it sucks not making the playoffs, but to win a race is still big, dude. So that's cool. That kind of cool how you done it. That was very entertaining at the end.
Yeah, I was just holding on for dear life and just hoping not to make mistakes. And when I got in that wreck, I got about halfway through the spin, and I'm like, I'm kind of going slow in this spin. I might be able to just drop a gear and get out of here. And sure enough, I got straight. I came out fourth, but they were just so much faster than me down the straights. It was everything I could to get past, I believe it was Jeff there. And then on the restarts, I've been working on the bottom for most of the night. That's how, when we're green flag running, I got all my passes done. But I just kind of focused down there because I figure if someone's going to try to make a move, they're going to dive bomb. And, well, I already got wrecked once. What's twice if someone shoves it in there?
Yeah. You got any more questions for him, John?
I mentioned this earlier during the race, but it was a solid mix of playoff and non-playoff drivers, and you unfortunately didn't make the playoffs, but you still came away with the victory and the trophy. How aggressive would you get to come away with another one here?
If the opportunity presented itself, it's one of those things. I'm here for the fun of it and the sport of it. I'm not here to dump someone to win a race. But if it came down to it, if it was probably one of my teammates, I would play around a bit. But someone else, if I had 99% and they had 100%, I would probably just hold on and hope for a mistake. But I just, I don't really focus on winning. I just focus more on having fun racing everybody, which I guess is a pretty terrible mindset for league racing. But it's what's got me through the years. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've had fun, especially tonight.
You're
Go ahead.
You're doing a great job tonight. It was fun to watch you. I saw you slowly making your way through the field. There were very few people who were just like trying to mind their P's and Q's and just keep to themselves and not really make too many mistakes. And you were definitely one of those drivers.
I try to be. I mean, here at AVPW, we all have our different strong suits. I'm a relatively more of a short track ace. James and Matt are super well rounded. Jordan's pretty great at like all the speedways and super speedways and stuff. But tonight I was in my wheelhouse, and I guess I wheeled the right way.
Yeah, man, you did, and congrats on the win. Yeah, crazy how you done it. It's gonna be talked about for a while, but like we always say around here, man, a win is a win. So, but good run tonight. It sucks your teammate, he got bumped out of the way, but a good save on him and still get a top 5 finish and stay right there. Get some good points tonight with a lot of playoff guys having struggles tonight. So, good stuff on on your win and on your team running well tonight. Any shout outs you want to give before you head out for the night?
Yeah, everyone over here at AVPW. I mean, these guys are the best. I love them. They're super nice, super chatty. If you ever have an opportunity, talk to us. We like to talk. But all thanks to them. Thanks to I guess everyone that somewhat supports me on here, even though I got my own company on the hood. But yeah, just thanks to all the boys over at AVPW, and thanks to all you guys for streaming, and I believe Chad and them for putting this on. And yeah, hopefully next week we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Well, good win tonight and good stuff, and we'll catch you next week.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
You do the same.
That was our race winner, Matt Hackathorn. That was a good race. Can't really ask for anything more. It was pretty clean. Photo finish. A little bit of a bump and run at the end. A lot of playoff drivers struggled tonight, but there was a few that rose up to the top and was able to stay clean and come away with good finishes. What were your takeaways from this?
It was a good race. Some incidents, but I mean it's short track racing. That's bound to happen. Less cautions than we expected. It sucks for a lot of playoff guys not getting the points, but that they needed, and some guys doing it. But that always mixes up the playoff thing and makes it, to me, makes it more interesting. So can't wait to see what these boys or how it looks when we head to Charlotte and see what happens there.
Definitely. It's something to keep an eye on for the next couple of races. They should be action packed. A lot of people getting put into bad point situations. So just gonna have to see how they rebound and see what they can do next week at Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks to Whiplash Cams, we got some good views of these wreck, good racing, that crazy last lap. Thank you for John joining me today, in the booth, man. I appreciate it. Robert had something come up where he couldn't make it home in time. I appreciate Austin joining me as well, and Dave doing what Dave does, doing the GOAT things in the broadcasting booth, doing all the camera angles and stuff, what he does, and catching all the action. So thank you guys for helping me out tonight.
Yeah, it was awesome to hop in here and get to work with Austin and Dave for the first time. And we've never really commentated a race together, but shout out to Do Something Technologies. That was a great race to sponsor. That's definitely a memorable one to be a part of.
Oh yeah,
That was a crazy finish to the race, and then on top of that, Hackathorn just a torn rotator cuff while driving still. Man.
I know, but hopefully everyone enjoyed that race. I can't wait to kind of watch it back on mute because I don't like hearing myself. We catch everyone else at Charlotte.
Yeah, see you guys next week.